The P90 has always been a celebrity in shooter games. Whether the game's art direction is sci-fi or realistic, the P90 has always had a place in modern shooter games. Its unique status has also inspired plenty of memes, such as P90 Rush B, which is very well known in CS player community. And in Battlefield 6, one of my most played games, the P90 is my go-to gun whenever I play engineer class and want to be a little bit sweaty. The gaming culture around this firearm put a thick filter for P90. It comes with a standard 50 rounds magazine that can provide me sustained firepower to sneak behind enemies' asses and flank the fuck out of them. Its small caliber, high penetration ammunition offers controllable recoil while still dealing a lot of damage. It represents lightweight construction and high ergonomic design, so the P90 often comes with perks like faster movement speed and ADS speeds. Thanks to Short Tony, FN Specialty, Strike Industry, and Sky Sporting, they helped me to put together this P90 for this video. Before I start roasting the P90, let me give it some credit. Seeing that entire row of screws on its polymer body, I always assumed the P90 would be a pain to take apart. In reality, its design is far more modular than I expected. The entire field strip process is extremely simple. Removing the upper receiver, bolt assembly, and trigger pack requires no tool at all. The upper receiver is the only serialized component on the P90. That makes swapping in a Strike Industry lower and installing a 3-position FRT relatively straightforward, both legally and mechanically. It also seems to be quite easy to clean and maintain, unlike the Vector I covered before. The Strike Industry lower costs $250. Very unfortunately, the USPS successfully lost the SI lower I pre-ordered. Short Tony was generous enough to send me his SI PS90 lowers for this video. The lower is not expensive, but if I had to pay for another one, I probably would not have been in the mood to make this video. Thanks, Tony. The PS90 FRT conversion kit from FN Specialty costs another $450, and plus the rifle version PS90 itself, the total cost of this build comes to around $2,900. For comparison, my MPX cost me $2,550 with the FRT installed, and I spent roughly $2,800 for my MCX BRLT with Arcfire from AS Design installed. Why am I comparing the P90 with these two guns? From a user perspective, I think the SI lower is almost a necessary upgrade if you actually want to run the P90 comfortably. Most players probably cannot feel it in video games, but despite its futuristic appearance, the ergonomic of the P90's polymer lower are honestly terrible in my mind. The grip angle on the Strike Industry lowers makes a very noticeable improvement, but once you spend that $700 on the lower replacement and FRT conversion, the total cost is already surpassed the MPX with the FRT, and it's getting close to MCX with the foldable stock that you can use more powerful rifle ammunition. So from a practical perspective, the purchase and modification costs alone already making me question the point of owning a P90, and I had not even included the cost of ammunition yet. P90's 5.7x28 ammo is also very expensive. Right now, the cheapest retail 9mm I can find is around 23 cents per round. The cheapest 223 FMJ is about 46 cents. And the 5.7 FMJ costs around 70 cents per round. In the traditional PDW category, 5.7x28 does offer better penetration than 9mm because of its small caliber projectile. But with modern PDWs chambered in rifle cartridges like 223 and 300 Blackout, the P90 has largely lost the penetration advantage. Take my MCX Spear LT for example. It has an 11.5-inch barrel. It is actually not much longer than a P90 with stock folded. Any container large enough to conceal and carry a P90 could probably carry the MCX Spear LT as well. Speaking of P90's ammunition, we have to put its magazine on trial. Most games do not include a separate mechanics for loading rounds into P90 magazines. After playing too many arcade shooters, it is easy to ignore the time and effort hidden behind every P90 reload. Even in more realistic games with magazine loading mechanics like Escape from Tarkov, the process is still heavily simplified. The P90 magazine is a double-stack, single-feed design. If you have ever loaded a Glock magazine with the same feeding pattern, you will probably have the finger-hurting experience. But the P90 magazine is even more ridiculous. The rounds not only feed through a single feeding port, but also have to rotate after entering the magazine. The loading resistance becomes much heavy even before there are any rounds in the magazine. At least Glock has some speed loaders and P90 doesn't. Just dragging ammunition into a magazine and watching all 50 rounds load at a constant speed in Tarkov is truly some advanced technique. And if we compare the reload efficiency with tactical reload between mags, the P90 is still at a clear disadvantage. Although this P90 has the more ergonomic SI loader installed, it does nothing to improve the magazine change experience. The P90's magazine mounting system also makes it almost impossible for third-party accessories to significantly improve the reload process. This is pulling the trigger in video games. Once you click the left mouse button, the P90 immediately fires at its programmed fire rate. With platforms like AR or AK, my experience is that once you install a decent trigger, pulling the trigger in semi or FRT mode feels almost as effortless as clicking a mouse. Since the P90 is a bullpup gun, I can understand its trigger feeling slightly worse than a conventional rifle, but its full auto or FRT trigger turned out to be far worse than I expected. When FN Specialty developed this FRT kit, they recreated one defining feature of the original P90, the progressive trigger, and it gave me the full authentic experience just how bizarre that trigger can feel. Normally, semi-auto fires one round per trigger pull, and you must release the trigger to reset it. In full auto mode, you simply hold the trigger down and the gun continues firing. These two trigger behaviors usually feel completely different and are very easy to distinguish. But when the P90 is switched to its third position, the trigger enters the progressive mode. The trigger pull got divided into two stages. If you pull it slowly, the first stage still fires in semi-auto mode. To activate full auto or FRT mode, you have to keep pulling the trigger through to the second stage and press the trigger all the way to the rear. So the full auto or FRT trigger pull is forcibly divided into two stages. Unless you are already familiar with this progressive trigger design, pulling it and getting only one shot can easily make you think the full auto or FRT system has malfunctioned. That is why when I first tried the P90 in FRT mode, there was often a single shot between each short burst. So in reality, firing a P90 in full auto or FRT mode feels nothing like clicking a mouse button. If I want to spray and pray with P90 in real life, I have to pull the trigger hard and drive it all the way to the rear in one motion. Of course, if we ignore practicality and treat it purely as a range toy, the progressive trigger is generally unique and fun. But in actual use, it seriously hurts the shooting experience. The gun already has a dedicated semi-auto position, yet Its full auto or FRT mode adds another semi-auto stage before you can fire rapidly for fun. By today's standards, this just feels like over-engineering, a solution in search of a problem. Maybe video games and movies have simply idealized the P90 a bit too much. As someone who grew up playing shooter games, using one in real life created a huge gap between my expectations and reality. After spending time with it, I found the P90 is difficult to learn and get used to. But the results, whether in terms of ammunition performance or simply how satisfying it is to shoot, left me quite disappointed. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.